Good morning. It is the first day post Six the Musical.
I think this is all just a dream. I think
Like Dallas?
Yeah, I think we're all just still at home laying in bed sleeping.
That would be so nice.
These are holographic images.
But if I have you and David in my dream, I'm doing something horribly wrong.
We're up to no good.
So-
Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning.
It's unusual to start with three people out here on the first segment, but David is here to talk about the aluminium show we have coming up.
Are you Australian?
No, that's the British pronunciation, probably Australian too. But garage and aluminium that's just the way I like to say those. And I'm really trying to pick up the word blimey.
What about Adidas?
You're just trying to make
I don't know
fetch
that
happen.
one.
You're just trying to make
Adidas.
fetch happen, that's all.
No, I'm trying to make British happen.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow.
Well, can we talk about the aluminum show?
The aluminium show, yes.
There we go.
David, tell us about the aluminum show. What's going on?
I will have some proper high tea while you do.
There we go.
Don't
The
spill it.
aluminum show is coming, or is here. This show is going to be so much fun. I'm looking so forward to it. It is in my blood that one of the main messages about the show is reusing and recycling. Okay, it's talking about...
We brought the show just for you, David. I know. It touches your heart, I know.
It does, right? And the show is so much fun. It has a lot of dance in it. It has sort of a little bit of ballet, but it also has hip hop. It makes all the costumes are made from recycled or reused material.
And they actually take these materials and they give human elements or human characteristics to some of these performances and sort of the characters that they play in the show.
Right. They have animals and all sorts of characters in the show made from these recycled materials. So all the costumes are that way. And the dance in it is sort of reminiscent of Pilobolus or Momex, making shapes with their bodies and
Contemporary dance companies.
Okay, I was going to say, are those real words?
Yes, they are.
Right.
But yes, they do make shapes. So as you can, we've had some video rolling. You can see they do some really cool, weird things.
With lots of audience participation as well, because the aluminum goes out over the audience.
Yeah, they break that fourth wall, they go out into the audience becomes sort of part of the show, and they feel the show, the interaction. It's wonderful. The kids are going to love it, but the whole family really is going to love it. Then again, it's Wednesday, February 12th at 6:30. February 13th at 9:25 and 12:30, and there's lots of space in the 12:30 show on February 13th and the evening show on February 12th.
Give them the way, if they want the 12:30 show, tell them how to reach you. David at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org. Is that correct?
They can do that, or they can go to Broadway Theater League's website and go to Outreach, and there's a space for 6:30 tickets, or you can make reservations for the 12:30 show. Again, it's all free. Nobody has to pay an admission price for this show, so the whole family can come.
Thanks a lot to the generosity, not only of the Chandler Family Fund, but the City of Huntsville and the Arts and Cultural Grant Program, the Alabama State Council on the Arts. You talked about recycling and being sort of one of the primary mission purpose of this show. Are there other educational components as well? You talked a bit about movement and dance, and I'm just curious what other educational things are important to the aluminum show?
Well, again, it's sustainability. It's not. You don't really think climate change, but you think about making the environment better, cleaner water, cleaner land, cleaner air. All of that included in this, and the triangle: reduce, reuse, and recycle. All of that is included.
I bet you've got a tattoo of that somewhere on you, don't you?
Something like that. Again, all the costumes are made out of like duct work and all recycled material. So they didn't have to buy anything new for these costumes for anything to go on stage.
One of the things I like to, when I talk about this show, is I love to say, you know what? It's Blue Man only in silver. It's
Yeah.
Blue Man Group basically in silver.
And all recycled material.
All recycled materials.
Okay, so when is it again?
The evening show, the 6:30 show, is at February 12th at 6:30. And then the two school shows, 9:25 and 12:30 on February 13th.
Okay.
The show is 70 minutes long.
Got it.
Okay.
So in and out, just like 6 was.
There we go.
And it's free.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Find out
They just
more.
have to make reservations.
Right. Make your reservations at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org, and we will see you guys in just a few minutes.
See you in a minute.
Mamma Mia, the original record-breaking Broadway production returns. Celebrate the 25th anniversary of the most exhilarating smash hit musical ever. Coming to the Von Braun Center March 28th through 30th. Get tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
Looking for high energy, fast-paced, non-stop fun? Come experience Havoc Hockey live. Get your tickets now at HavocTix.com.
The high-flying adventure begins. Join Peter, Wendy, Tiger Lily, and Captain Hook on an adventure to Neverland for the entire family. Think the loveliest thoughts and get ready to take flight. Peter Pan at the Von Braun Center, April 22nd through 27th. On sale at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
Welcome back to Show and Tell with BTL. We are bringing on a guest who has been way too long in getting on our show.
I'm surprised he doesn't have his construction helmet on.
Well, his hair's too nice for
It's
that.
in the car.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, no. In construction sites, you got to have the hats on. He's got the hats.
So introduce yourself to the world, my friend.
Hello, my name is Chris Carter, and I'm the production manager and programs administrator for Arts Huntsville.
And so give us an idea, concept. What all do you do? Because there's a lot of it.
Oh yeah, I've been blessed with the opportunity to wear
There you
many,
go.
many hats
Yes.
for Arts Huntsville. The first one, and arguably the most important right now, is for the Moon. I'm one of the theatrical advisors on behalf of the City of Huntsville to work on the Performing Arts Center side of the Sandra Moon Performing Arts Center. So I get to meet the architects, the City of Huntsville people, the construction company, and offer input on the process for the performing arts side of the Parks and Recreational Facility, which is a lot of fun.
If we don't know what we're talking about here, the folks out here, tell us the transformation from what the Moon Center was to what it is today.
Yeah, so it used to be the old Grissom High School, and it closed about, 7 years ago, and sat empty for a while. And the first phase of the project turned the South Huntsville Library to a brand new open space, which is beautiful. They took down half of the school to make way for that library. And then the second phase, they did all life safety renovations and updates inside the old Grissom High School. The third phase brought online the neighborhood park, like the playground area.
Okay.
And then we also had the rehearsal spaces open up. And then the fourth phase will be the completion of the Performing Arts Center and the Parks and Recreational Facility there.
Wow, what a major undertaking.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and it's been going on for a while, and we're excited to see all that happen.
Is it a lot like herding cats?
But luckily, I get to watch people herd cats and encourage them how they could do it.
Good. So when this is all said and done, what's the mission? What's the purpose? What will the Moon Center stand for?
Oh, man. Well, I think the ultimate goal was, and I can't speak for the city, but on behalf of the city, I think they recognize the need for a mid-sized performing arts venue for the local community. We have amazing opportunities for professionals to come in with you guys at the VBC, and they're trying to find a place for all of our amazing local artists to land and continue to create incredible work. with which we can feed the professional organizations as they go out in the future. So I think, at least on our end with the theater side, the ultimate goal is to give people a home to exist and create art here local. And then for the Parks and Rec side, there's a facility like they've never seen before to, again, allow people to have a place to go and do all of the parks and recreational opportunities that are not available to them currently in South Huntsville, for sure.
So I remember moving here originally back in '96. And, you know, there were a few little things here and there. But in that span of time, from '96 to 2025, the arts community overall has undergone this huge, major transformation in all the various things. And we've had many different artists and different types of art here on this show. Why do you think in the past basically 30 years that this transformation has taken place?
Oh, what a huge question. I think it's because people in our city care about the arts.
Yes.
And they support it. And there is a massive intentional effort to provide opportunities here that might not exist elsewhere. Even at the leadership level from the city, I know Mayor Battle is very invested in what it looks like to be an artist in the city. All of the city administrators have been very supportive of allowing things like that to happen. We have the music office that opened up with Matt Mandrella. And then there are people here that also support the art. Just local community members that want to see great things happen on all facets of art. You know, visual arts with Low Mill has grown up and become really successful. And I love that you talk about 1996, because that was my freshman year of high school when I first started doing musical theater. And that's when my eyes were opened to what is possible through art, especially for me, for performing art. So it's really been fun to see that transformation happen as I've kind of grown up here in the city. So
I have to interject for a second because we have to cut to a break.
I've got tons of questions in my head. I was kind of going,
And,
cut me off.
Yes, so we will stay with us for the next segment. We will see you guys in just a few minutes.
See you soon.
Buying or selling your home, why not trust a legend? Huntsville native Karen Farrell can make the process fun, exciting, and easy. Enjoy the biggest investment of your life. Call a legend, Karen Farrell of Legend Realty, 468-4626, or find her on Facebook.
Les Miserables, still the world's most popular musical. Experience the breathtaking production that leaves both audiences and critics awestruck. Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, May 6th through 11th. Tickets at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org.
So we had an interesting cross-section happen on today's show that was totally unintentional. You know, we've got Chris on here to talk about the new Sandra Moon Center.
Right.
And then we had David on to talk about the aluminium show, but he's been in the arts.
Aluminum show?
The aluminum show.
He's been in the arts community here for 75 years.
I'm not that old yet.
No, he
But
said 60.
60 years.
So I'm sure you heard us off screen talking about the Sandra Moon Center, and you've been involved with lots of organizations. What does that mean to these organizations to have a place like this?
Well, you know, I went to Grissom. I graduated from Grissom
That's right.
in 1972.
You opened Grissom, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to be buried there too?
Well, you never know. But it's interesting, when I went there, there was not an auditorium. There was not a theater there. There was just an AV room, which we did a few plays in. But so that was done after I graduated in '72, put in there. And so it's wonderful to see it have a new life for the arts in Huntsville. I mean,
So I think, Chris, for you, I mean, who do you see using this space? How is it going to serve the community? I mean, who's it for? I mean,
Yeah,
Yes.
well, so it's funny because David and I have experienced his art with a couple of other companies through rentals at where I used to work at Lee High School in the theater there.
Right.
And that is one of the lanes that people used to use to find spaces to perform. So AYB would come in, rent the space, and create some work, and we're always juggling educational class time and how do we make it work. So having a space like the Moon sort of takes the burden off of the local high school theaters and allows all these organizations that are creating content. I don't want to get into naming too many, but independent musical productions and lyric musical productions that do incredible musicals here in the city. AYB, Dance Theater Huntsville, Huntsville Ballet, and there's probably a million other dance companies that are creating dance. They'll probably look for places to come eventually, especially when they have things that are 500 seat audience expectations and not 2,000 or 200. We'd offer the ability for Fantasy to come in. We know they just have a new venue too, but there's something unique about size and space and dynamics locations like that. I think there are possibilities for Theater Huntsville. There's a new company out, Renegade Theater Company has talked about coming to here. And then that's just the few that I've spoken with in the last couple of months, you know, and then there's probably many more. I'm sure that there's some children's theater companies around the curtain.
Yes.
Is
Around the
here
Curtain.
going to probably will
Around
show
the
up.
Curtain is in South Huntsville.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's really a space for people to come and create whatever they want, because that's the hardest part about doing performing art is finding the venue.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do is help all of the local community organizations, all the nonprofits, and all the artists that are looking for a space to create have a location that's sort of in the middle. So if you're expecting a smaller show, you know, 200, 300, there's a venue now for that. You've got an expectation of a 600 person show, now there's a venue for that. And if you've got something you know is going to go up to 2,000, there's a venue for that.
Absolutely. So I've got to put you on the spot on one question,
Okay.
because you asked me about it. Whatever happened to that shower?
We have a shower in the space.
All right.
So I love to lean on people that are smarter than me, and Andrew is one of those people. And I went directly to him when I had a question that was on the table about some of the construction phase, and is this really a necessity or not? And you helped me make an informed decision to help the city be wise with the way they choose to allocate their resources. And I've done that many times. I came to him about asking the depth of a dance floor. Was there negotiating staging floors? I've called 3 local sound guys. We're looking at the acoustic packages to also just trust but verify. And that's one of our strengths, is we're not afraid to collaborate with all of our local people.
So on the technical side, what can people expect out of this theater?
I think you can walk in to this place and go, man, they really got it right. I mean, as much as it can be, you know, there's some things that money just can't fix, and there's some things that take a whole lot of extra money that just don't exist. But we have contemporary technology for lighting, contemporary lighting packages that are industry standard. I think will be really nice. We'll see some moving LEDs in there that did not exist at all in that space before. The theater space has been acoustically modeled and engineered to give us the best possible solution to that structure of that shell, which is great. So we're going to get into a place of really clean audio, I think, and you'll have a space where you can actually hear the actors are saying without all the extra reverb and whisper echoes that were happening before. We also have an AV package, so we'll be able to film and video content that is on the space in real time. So if you wanted to come in with your AV people and record whatever it is you're doing for an archival copy, we should have the resources available for you to be able to do that.
Okay, so we've got to go to a break, but I want to ask David a question first. Because your mom was so instrumental in starting a lot of the early art programs in Huntsville, how do you think she would feel about a venue like this?
Oh, she would love it. I mean, she did a lot of. She started off Huntsville High Auditorium, doing shows there, and to have, in some ways, a dedicated space for local arts. You know, the other venues are lots of things happening in those other venues. So this would be mainly for local arts and she would love that area.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much for being on, and we will see you guys in just a few minutes.
The high-flying adventure begins for a whole new generation. Think the loveliest thoughts and get ready to take flight. Peter Pan at the Von Braun Center, April 22nd through 27th. On sale now.
The Deep Comics and Games has the largest selection of comics, board games, toys, and collectibles in North Alabama. With thousands of comics arriving weekly, choose from the classics by DC and Marvel to the newest generation of heroes. Offering comics in every genre, The Deep has a comic for everyone. Selling your collection, The Deep is always buying and will give you the most cash for your stash. The Deep Comics and Games, 2310 South Memorial Parkway, just south of Office Depot.
That was great having Chris and David both on, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we could have sat here for a very, very long time with Chris to talk about everything that's going on at the Moon Center.
Right, and we could sit here a long time and talk with David about his history in the arts in this town.
Yes, David's had a 70-year career in the arts in Huntsville. Thank you, David. 75, sorry.
Keep on working on it.
But it's funny, when we set both them up, I didn't plan on them being on here together. It was just going to be Chris talk about the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, David's been around this arts community for a long time. And then I totally forgotten that he actually was in the first class in Grissom.
You know, the center that is named for, it's named for Sandra Moon. Such a sweet, kind, compassionate, caring woman who thought of nothing but her community. She was a great supporter of BTL, but many, many other organizations as well. I think that them doing this center with her name on it is probably one of the best things they could have ever done to recognize and remember her.
Okay.
She was just an extremely, extremely nice lady. I mean, she worked in government, she worked, for the community. Sandra Moon was just a great lady.
Great, and this sounds like it's going to be a fantastic place to carry on that legacy of hers.
Exactly, and I had so many other questions I wanted to ask Chris, because I was like, well, when's the first, performance, and when's the first show? And I think they've got classes and things that are already happening there in other parts of the building. It's like, when are the roll of all the shows going to be?
Well, also you have to take a look at it in this way. There's so much construction going on in this town. How they can even get extra workers to work on it baffles my mind.
I think every other vehicle on the streets of this town is a dump truck of some kind.
But I mean, you've been around the arts here a long time, and BTL is BTL, and we bring in the national touring shows. But you've gotten to see lots of other organizations.
There's been this sort of stable of a lot of tried and trues that have always been here. And so many of them are connected. And I bet you a lot of people don't know that. I mean, Fantasy Playhouse and BTL, the Huntsville Symphony, these are all organizations that, because of decades of commitment from the community to support these organizations, that's why they're still here. And it was important to them. And it all started with Dr. Werner von Braun, that they have the arts in here. They're going to put man on the space, but they also want to be able to, play a concerto and great works of art and all types of arts here in town. I love when an organization like BTL or the Symphony or Fantasy, I love the fact that it brings community together.
One of the favorite things that you say about things like that, about the community coming out to support everyone, is that we all rise together.
It is. It may seem cliche, it may seem whatever, but we're literally all in this same universe together as part of this arts community here. And sometimes we support and lift each other up, but as a community, we are definitely, as the arts community, we are a whole.
Okay. And
that's why we created this TV show, because we wanted to put a spotlight and a focus on the arts of Huntsville.
Right, and I will say we have done a lot of that. So you saw it with the 6 divas we had on last week, not divas, the super fans.
The super fans, yes.
That we had on last week, and before that we had Theater Huntsville on to talk about Girl on Train, and we had the folks from Albertville on to talk about Beetlejuice Jr. So we've had lots
Lots of different arts groups on.
Lots
yes.
of great, and it's fun. I mean, and I've gotten to know them much better than I ever would have without this.
It always seemed like, and let's go back 30 years, it's like, well, there's this, and there's this, and this, but there never really seemed to be that cohesion in trying to support and lift everybody up. Because what we're doing, basically, when I'm telling them about BTL, I'm also telling them about the other arts that we have here in this community. And they're all vitally important to each other.
Okay. So now I think we've covered that pretty well. We've got the aluminium show coming up. What's after that?
The aluminium show. Yes, we have the aluminium show.
The aluminum show.
Thank you, David. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, we're just going to have that as a little sound snippet every single time. Got it. Up next, let's see. I don't know, maybe a sold-out run of Mamma Mia's coming in our future?
Yes.
Are there any seats left for Mamma Mia?
There are some. I would get them sooner rather than later.
So you might be able to find a seat on what, Sunday night?
Sunday night.
Upper balcony left maybe or something?
Sunday night still has the best availability.
Okay. Well, listen, it's funny. You take the 9,600 seats minus the kills. I mean, maybe we have 1,500 seats for all 5 performances available. Maybe.
That's a stretch. Maybe.
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 Exactly. That's what I said.
So anyway, so if you want to see Mamma Mia, get your tickets now.
Ultimate best dance party ever. Just best dance party ever.
But before Mamma Mia gets here, we have at least one special announcement and possibly a season announcement.
I don't know. You got your act together? You ready to do it? Let's do it now. I got my list. What do you want to know?
Well,
come on, what you got?
We can't jump that far forward in time.
Well, what do you want to announce?
I'm just saying that we might have a season announcement in the beginning of March.
Wait,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, yes, I know everybody wants to know because Birmingham has announced and Atlanta's
announced.
Let's see. Yes, Atlanta has announced. A lot of people are announcing, and everyone wants to know, what are you bringing? Yes, absolutely. So what are we bringing? Do you know?
Well, I will go ahead and just put this out there. We're not bringing Wicked for 3 weeks.
No, that's not possible because the construction isn't quite done yet, is it?
Right.
Yes.
Once that construction gets done, though.
Then it's free show. Every show's going to be coming.
Awesome. So with all that, I think we'll save our other special announcement to the show next week. Even though we've kind of soft announced it.
You know?
We're going to really break it down next week with Kip.
Okay. I hope I know what we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be making up as we go along again.
Well, you have to write the checks for us, so I hope you know too. Thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you soon.